Deontological ethics, Kant's categorical imperative and the morality of robbing a bank, presented by Terence Hal Karim. Hi, I'm Terence Hal Karim. In this presentation, I'll be applying Immanuel Kant's moral philosophy, specifically the three formulations of the categorical imperative, to the moral dilemma of robbing a bank. I'll explain each formulation in simple terms and use them to evaluate whether bank robbery can ever be morally justified. Let's begin by understanding the foundation of Kantian ethics, deontology. Deontology comes from the Greek word deon, meaning duty. It's an ethical theory that says the morality of an action depends on whether it fulfills our moral duties, not on the consequences of the action. Matthews and Hendricks, 2019. For Kant, some actions are always wrong, even if they might bring about good results. Robbing a bank, for example, might help someone escape poverty, but Kantian ethics asks, is it morally right in principle? Kant believed moral rules must be universal and apply to everyone. He proposed the categorical imperative, which is a test to determine if an action is morally permissible. He offered three key formulations of this idea, each giving a different lens to evaluate actions. We'll apply each to the scenario of bank robbery. Formulation 1, universal law. Act only according to that maxim whereby you can at the same time will that it should become a universal law. What this means is, before doing something, ask, what if everyone acted this way? So let's test bank robbery. What if everyone robbed banks when they needed money? The banking system would collapse. Trust in financial institutions would disappear. Therefore, the maxim, rob a bank when you're in need, cannot be universalized without contradiction. So, by this standard, robbing a bank is morally wrong. Matthew and Hendricks, 2019. Formulation 2, humanity as an end. Act in such a way that you treat humanity, whether in your own person or in the person of another, always at the same time as an end and never merely as a means. What this means is never use people as tools to get what you want. In a bank robbery, the robbers use the bank staff and customers as mere tools to get money. They violate their autonomy, put them in danger, and ignore their dignity. So again, bank robbery fails the test of morality under this formulation. People must always be respected as ends in themselves. McComb's School of Business, 2018. Formulation 3, the kingdoms of ends. Act according to maxims of a universally legislating member of a merely possible kingdom of ends. What this means is, imagine a world where everyone acts morally and respects others. Would your action fit in that world? If I, as a rational agent, were creating the moral laws for a society of equals, would I permit bank robbery? No. It would undermine justice and mutual trust, core principles of a moral community. So once again, robbing a bank fails this ethical test. Religious parallels, the golden rule. Interestingly, Kant's ethics align with religious principles like the golden rule. Treat others as you would like to be treated, found in nearly every major religion. Minix, 2023. This idea echoes Kant's focus on reciprocity, dignity, and fairness. Would I want to be robbed? Certainly not. Then I shouldn't rob others. So, to sum up, under Formulation 1, bank robbery can't be a universal law. Under Formulation 2, it treats people merely as means. Under Formulation 3, it doesn't belong in a moral community. Kantian ethics clearly condemns the act of robbing a bank, not because of consequences, but because the act itself violates duty, respect, and moral law. On personal reflection, this exercise helped me better understand how Kant's ideas apply to real life. Even if a desperate person thinks robbery is their only option, Kant would insist on upholding moral principles. It's a tough but principled approach, one that values humanity, dignity, and fairness above all. References: Matthews G. and Hendricks C. 2019, Introduction to Philosophy, Ethics. McComb's School of Business, 2018, Deontology, Ethics Defined. And Minix M, 2023, Golden Rule, Every Religion Has One.